Hey everyone, welcome back to Hanging Out for a Living, the show where we, amongst other things, spotlight entrepreneurs who are building businesses with purpose, clarity, and just a little bit of courage. Okay, maybe a lot of courage. Today we're hanging out with Chante Dawston, who helps pet industry professionals increase profits and save time with streamlined accounting solutions. Because let's be honest, you didn't open your pet business to become best friends with bookkeeping, taxes, and financial reports. Chante combines over a decade of accounting experience with a deep understanding of the pet industry to help business owners get their time back, keep more of what they earn, sleep better at night, and finally understand their numbers. So, if you've ever felt like your books were running you instead of the other way around, this conversation is for you. Chante, welcome to Hanging Out for a Living.
Hi, it's great to be here.
It's so good to have you. Let's dive into our four questions. You specialize in the pet industry. What made you choose that niche, and what are you seeing pet business owners struggle with most right now?
So I chose the niche because I am an introvert, of course. I'm an accountant that's an introvert. And I have a Great Dane and he is pretty extroverted. And so I found myself in a lot of conversations with other people who love dogs or love animals in general. And so when I decided to go into the business for myself, people kept talking about like finding a niche. And I was just like, I'm already talking to animal lovers, and that's an easy thing to do for me. So why not combine the two things that I find pretty easy and that I enjoy? And so I just started down this path within the pet industry.
I love it. So then that means
Um,
you don't work a day in your life, right? Because you love what you do.
right, exactly.
So when someone says, Shante, my books are a mess, what does that usually actually mean? And what's the first step to help them, take care of it?
Yeah, so that actually means different things for different people. For
Okay.
some people, it's, I haven't started anything, things are just kind of all over and I'm not doing any kind of tracking. For others, it's I've started tracking things, but I don't have a system. I'm not consistent. And so, like, I'm not able to get any information from my numbers. Um, and the first step really is like getting some kind of system in place. Like it doesn't have to be like, you're using QuickBooks or Zero or one of those accounting tools. It could be simply like you get an Excel spreadsheet and you track your income each month, you track your expenses each month, and there you go. Like you've started, you are being consistent, you have a system and a routine in place. It may be, simplified. I know with, all the technology, people tend to want to kind of run before they walk when it comes to those
That's
types of things.
true.
But, just, start out with the basics, just track it. I think people kind of overcomplicate things when it comes to trying to manage their numbers. And they get overwhelmed and they don't think about like the simple things that they can do to, just kind of put pen to paper, so to speak, and start tracking those numbers. And once you get that routine going, it's less overwhelming. You don't feel like, oh, this is a mess and I have no idea what I'm doing. You're able to build from that place.
Great advice, not just for those who are in the pet business, but for everybody all the way around. Wonderful. So
Yes.
it really is. It's not overwhelming. You're not feeling like you're drinking from a fire hose, and it's really manageable. Um, so you talk about giving people more time, more money, and more peace of mind. Can you share a story of a transformation you've seen with one of your clients?
Sure. So I have a client that is a startup. They've been in business for less than a year. And they were one of those people, kind of like the messy book situation that we talked about, where, they were looking at things very sporadically, trying to manage all of the things that comes with being a startup and also trying to manage the numbers and just feeling overwhelmed. And so we came in and got them set up on QuickBooks, which, like I said, you don't have to do that, but it is a good step if you want to kind of be more organized. So we got them set up on QuickBooks. We do their monthly bookkeeping and kind of send them reports and everything to show what their numbers are doing and how they're growing and where there's room for improvement. And so like being able to have access to that reporting and to like the insights that we provide for them each month really helped them kind of get confidence around their numbers. It gave them easy access to the information, and they were able to apply for funding, and they actually got $20,000 in funding to help grow their business about a month or so ago. So it's not, the full piece of the pie, but it
Right.
is, a large piece to be able to have access to your financial data, and be confident in presenting that to someone else who is going to invest in your business.
Absolutely. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing. I have one little side question before we get to the last one. Have you ever had anybody bring you receipts and things like in a shoebox or a box and said, "Hey, Shante, can you go through this?"
No, so I work completely virtually
Oh,
with
do
all
you?
my
Okay.
clients. So I haven't had anyone bring actual receipts, but I have spoken with people who have said, "Oh yeah, I just keep everything, in a box. How would we be able to work together?" And I'm like, if you're willing to scan it in, then and I've had some people say, hey, that's no problem. And I've had people say, oh no, like I can't do anything with technology. I need to be able to just like bring paper
Yeah,
things to you. And so I kind of either tried to find someone else that, was local to them that they
sure.
could uh, work with, or, recommend that if they're in an area where I'm not familiar with, recommend that they find someone local and kind of provide them some questions that they could ask to kind of get the right information. But I have had people that are like, I got information over here, I got information over there. How do I get that to you? And I'm just like, give me what you have. I'll make it work. And then we can figure out like getting you a good system going forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the last question then, for a pet business owner watching this who knows they've been avoiding their numbers, what's just one small action they could take this week to move forward?
Yeah, I would say the thing that I would recommend for pet business owners and really anyone that's in business and doesn't know where to start is to review your bank statements. Like that's an easy thing to do. You can do it monthly. You could look at your accounts on a weekly basis if you're comfortable with that. I would just get in the habit of reviewing bank statements and making sure that your cash balance is pretty close to what your expectation is. Like we kind of all have that like internal tracking that we're doing in our minds and kind of have a reasonable idea of what we think our cash balances should be. So you want to start with looking at that and making sure that there isn't a large discrepancy. And then if there is, you want to kind of start taking a deeper dive and see, what it is. Is it, customer hasn't paid you that you were expecting? Is it that, a vendor took money out earlier than you expected? Kind
Yeah.
of look into those things and figure out why there is that difference. And it'll really kind of help you start to identify the flow of your business, and really like figure out if there are changes that you need or want to make. And it's pretty simple just to be able to log into your bank account and spend, 15, 20 minutes looking everything over.
Absolutely. So I have to tell you, Shante, this has been such a really insightful and helpful conversation. I love how you make something that feels so darn intimidating actually feel really manageable. Folks, for you watching or listening, if you're in the pet industry and you're tired of the numbers headache, we've all known what that's like, whether we're in that industry or not. This might be your sign to stop white knuckling your bookkeeping. If you'd like to continue the conversation with Chante, her contact information is in the description of this video. Reach out, ask the question, start the conversation. Take that first step. Because the more clarity you have around your numbers, the more freedom you have to focus on what you actually love, serving your clients and growing your business, right? We all want to do what we love. And that's it for hanging out for a living. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Chante, again, thanks for joining us. It was great to have you. And we'll
Of
see
course,
everyone,
great to be here.
and we'll see everyone another time. Take care. Bye-bye.